Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. The Viking here, of course, and today's video was about HBO Max has changed the landscape. So what does that mean for Zack Snyder's Justice League? Look, since the Snyder Cut got announced back in May, it's been a great buzz for us Snyder fans, for us DC fans, that it's finally coming to fruition, and we're going to get to see it in 2021, and I can't wait, and I know you can't wait as well. But there was a lot of pressure on Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I'll get into that in a second. But with Wonder Woman 1984 coming to HBO Max on Christmas Day, I thought that was a big positive for the Snyder Cut. Why? Well, it would bring more people to the subscription, to subscribe to it, more subscribers for HBO Max, which is a big win for HBO Max. That's what they want. They want to compete on the level of Netflix and Disney Plus, and a big IP like Wonder Woman is a big win for them. So say if people were fans of Wonder Woman, they wanted to see the next Wonder Woman film, they wouldn't have to wait that long. They'd have to wait 2 or 3 months to see the next outing, which is probably going to be March or April of next year, the Snyder Cut. Now, I have said for weeks on Twitter that they should treat Wonder Woman 1984 on HBO Max as a theatrical experience. Have a trailer before or even after for Zack Snyder's Justice League, or a little TV spot or something to show when Wonder Woman will have her next adventure, and families and fans won't have to wait that long. Zack Snyder's Justice League comes out as a series, people tune in, they want to see her, they want to see these huge characters, it creates buzz and it's a success. But now, ever since HBO Max has announced that all 17 theatrical films that were supposed to come out in 2021 will now hit the streaming service too. So if you're living in the US and you have HBO Max, you'll get to sit down, watch it at home, or if you want to go to a theatre and a theatre's open near you, you'll get to do that also, which is pretty cool. Now, I have my doubts how long that will last also. They said it's just for the year of 2021, but our theatre is going to be able to survive month to month on one movie, on 2 movies alone. I'm not so sure, maybe for the first few months, but come next summer, if movies aren't opening from Disney or Paramount or Lionsgate or any of these kind of companies, are they going to be able to stay open? Probably not. But it's a big win that Wonder Woman is coming to HBO Max. It was bringing people to HBO Max. But you add Godzilla, you add Matrix, you add Dune, even Tom and Jerry. People are going to subscribe because there is an amount of content there for everybody. You go to Disney Plus, it's kind of the one brand for everybody at the moment, but HBO Max offers absolutely everything. Not only will they get new movies in 2021, you get new shows, you get old movies, old shows, you get the Friends reunion, things like that. It's pretty cool. But how does this affect Zack Snyder's Justice League in March or April of 2021? In a lot of ways it does. Now, for one, the positive ways, okay, it takes a lot of pressure off Zack Snyder's Justice League. So initially, when HBO Max was launched, it didn't have much original content. Now, slowly over the last few months, it has built that up with some really good shows and some okay movies. But with Zack Snyder's Justice League, there was a lot of pressure on that to gain subscribers, to get people on to HBO Max, subscribe, stay on it. And of course, that was a success. A season 2 or an episode, whatever you want to call it, was going to be maybe down the pipeline if it was a success and brought people to it. But it takes away a lot of pressure for Zack Snyder's Justice League. It really does. Not only did Wonder Woman take away a lot of pressure, because Wonder Woman has brought people to HBO Max, Matrix, Dune, Godzilla has all done this now as well. It's not solely down to Zack Snyder's Justice League to gain subscribers. It's down to everything. So if you don't like superhero stuff, you want to watch The Matrix, you don't like them kind of stuff, you want stuff for your children, you can get that. So there's something there for everybody, which I think is absolutely brilliant. So it takes the pressure off Zack Snyder's Justice League straight away. And the reason it was a series, and we knew that Zack wanted it as a series, and Zack was probably thinking, okay, I could get some longevity out of this Zack Snyder's Justice League, out of this film. If I split it up into series, if I go to HBO Max and say, look, I've got this mini series for you, you can market it, the hype week to week. I've talked about this before. The cliffhangers, the discussion, the social media buzz would get people coming back for the next episode and the next episode, and the online discussion would go on and go on. And that's what HBO Max probably thought as well. We want the next Game of Thrones discussion online where people are coming to our platform. But that has changed big time now because of these movies are coming to the platform. So the pressure is gone. So does that mean that Zack Snyder's Justice League come March or April is going to be a mini-series? Is it going to be a series? Or is it going to end up being a film again? That's a big possibility, and many people think that as well. If you go to Dave the Film Junkie, if you go to his latest video, he talks about the expense. Something that I never thought about myself, and probably many of us never thought, is that the expense for the actors for each episode. If it's a movie, you pay them in one lump sum. If it's a series, you pay them episode per episode. It's going to cost a lot. It's going to cost a lot to put these movies out in theaters, to market them, and also have them on HBO Max. So maybe HBO Max, Warner Media don't have the money for that kind of stuff right now. So Zack Snyder's Justice League could be turned back into a film. Or my prediction is a part 1 and then a part 2 that will be released a month later. Very similar to the idea that Zack Snyder had back in 2017. Where he wanted a Justice League Part 1 and a Justice League Part 2 to come out within a month of each other. I think that's a big possibility now for the next few months. But I know many of you guys were really invested in the idea of a mini-series for Zack Snyder's Justice League. And you know what? I was too. I thought it would create that online buzz and the more possibility of a season 2. But a lot of pressure was on Zack Snyder's Justice League for HBO Max to be a success. And I thought that if it was a success, if it gained people to HBO Max, then a season 2 would happen or Justice League 2 would happen. But now that pressure is gone. And HBO Max is probably already a success because people are going to sign up to watch these new movies like Wonder Woman, Dune, Matrix, Godzilla, these huge IPs along with Zack Snyder's Justice League. So for me right now, probably, if all goes well, HBO Max is already a success. So for 2022, for 2023, for 2024, they're going to need more content every single year. And they say this is just a 1-year thing. I think this is the new age of how movies are going to be released. I think theaters are going to be hard to find. Some places they'll be open, some places they won't, some places they'll survive, some places they won't. I think streaming is the way forward, and Warner Brothers, I applaud them for this, have been the first to adapt to the world the way it's gone. COVID-19 has put a spanner in the works for all movies and shows, but the one who has reacted straight away, maybe a bit longer than we probably thought, was HBO, was Warner Media, was WB. They've really acted fast on this, and they've left the likes of Disney Plus, or Disney as a whole, behind. And Disney will probably react after a few months when they see how successful HBO Max is, and they see how successful or unsuccessful it is by keeping Black Widow in a vault or these type of movies. But is it going to be a movie? Is it going to be a series? I think it's going to end up being a movie again. I think it's going to end up being a part 1 and a part 2. Now, look, I'm happy with whatever happens. If it's a movie, if it's a series, whatever it is, if it's a theatrical experience, allowing a HBO Max experience, whatever it is, I am 100% happy as long as Zack Snyder is happy. And I'm sure maybe it's a Zack Snyder decision as well. It's going to be changed back into a movie. He'll make it work in whatever way. But if it's going to be a movie, it's going to be 4 hours, which is 240 minutes plus the additional photography that he added. So that's a lot to put out in one lump sum. One movie of 4+ hours. Is somebody going to sit down to watch that? I know we all would, but would average audiences? So I think a part 1, a part 2 is a huge possibility for this movie to come out in. The expense, as Dave the Film Junkie was saying, of paying the actors from episode to episode could be too costly. So just putting the movie out as 1 or 2 movies could be the way going forward. And you look, we talked about, we wanted people talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League. We wanted them coming back week to week talking about the cliffhangers, the videos, the breakdowns. I was a big advocate of this. I really was. But that was all because we wanted Zack Snyder's Justice League to be a success. We wanted HBO Max to be a success because we wanted a part 2 and a part 3 and for the complete arc to be finished. That's why we really wanted that, along with Zack wanted it as well. But now HBO Max is probably already a success. Wonder Woman, Matrix, Dune, it's already hitting off pretty well. So that means Zack Snyder's Justice League, in a sense, is already a success and can't really fail. Now the critics are running out of ways to bash this movie. People who hate Zack Snyder hate Zack Snyder, and okay, you hate him, you don't like his movies, but you can't compare it to box office of the old. You can't compare it to the MCU, the Dark Knight trilogy. You can't really compare Rotten Tomatoes because that kind of has gone out the door in the last while. People are going and having their own opinions about movies. You can't compare, you can't say, well, Zack Snyder's Justice League failed because HBO Max failed. You can't say those things anymore, so all they can do is really judge the movie. And for me, I think it's a big possibility that a 2 and a 3 will happen, but it needs to be a success in terms of social media buzz, and that can still happen with a movie. Just because it's not a series doesn't mean this can't happen anymore. And movies have buzz all the time. They have success. You know, you don't tell me if the Matrix comes out and it's the next mind-blowing thing of all time, it's not going to create online buzz. It will. If Zack Snyder's Justice League is unbelievable, it will create online buzz, not only from the Snyder Cut community, but from average audiences that have this subscription already. So I think it's okay, guys. I wouldn't worry too much about it. I was invested in the series. I still am. Whatever is going to happen. This is just my opinion of what I think is going to happen now, the way things have transitioned, the way things have changed, the way it might be too costly, because they were all in for Zack Snyder's Justice League because it was all they had. Then Wonder Woman came. Doom, Matrix, all these stuff that I've said have come now because of the pandemic. So things have changed big time. But I find it very interesting. I love learning about this stuff in terms of the theaters and the streaming services kind of being released at one. But for me, HBO Max need to get their international marketing off to a T for Zack Snyder's Justice League. They haven't started the marketing campaign yet. We don't know the release date. We don't even know the full title. Well, it's probably Zack Snyder's Justice League because Jason Kilar himself has said this. But we don't know for fully when this movie is going to come out. We don't know. It's going to, like, Wonder Woman right now is coming out here on the 16th. At the moment, there is no theaters really open here right now. But it's scheduled to come out here on the 16th. So that's 9 days early before the US. If you're in the US, you get to see it in Christmas Day in theaters, or HBO Max, you get to sit down and watch it at home with your family on Christmas Day, which is pretty cool. But we get to see it 9 days early. Also, you guys get it up for a month on HBO Max before it comes out of HBO Max. We don't get it on a streaming service until a month later after it comes out in the US. So around the 25th of January is when it comes here to the television company that's in contract with HBO, which is Sky. Now, is that what's going to happen for Zack Snyder's Justice League? Is it going to hit HBO Max on a certain date in the US and it's going to hit here in theaters? That'd be pretty cool as well. Or do we have to wait a month later, which would be kind of a bummer, and things would get spoiled and the momentum would kind of go down a bit. So for me, they have to release this at the one time around the world, or theaters like they're doing with Wonder Woman 84, and then on HBO Max, because then you lose hype, you lose discussion, you lose people being interested, you lose people get spoiled. So is that going to happen? Are they going to put the money into Zack Snyder's Justice League to be an international theatrical experience? Maybe. I don't know. I have my doubts about that as well, because it's going to cost a lot of money. Can they do it in the US where HBO Max and theatrical experience? Of course they can. That'd be pretty cool. But they need to get this marketing campaign started. And I'm sure they're going to get it started after Wonder Woman 84 comes out, or during Wonder Woman 84, because they need to put a lot of momentum into that movie as well, which is fair. But the marketing campaign needs to be perfect for Zack Snyder's Justice League for an international basis, because this movie was never supposed to come out in theaters. The likes of Dune, Matrix, Godzilla and stuff like that. But people... Another plus, I think, as well, average audiences that sit down with HBO Max will see the next Zack Snyder film, or Batfleck, Superman. Okay, cool. This must have been coming out in theaters as well, and it was moved to HBO Max, which is pretty cool as well. So Zack Snyder's Justice League is going to be treated in the same vein as Matrix, Dune, and all these other films, which is pretty cool. And audiences might think, oh, this would have been cool to see in theaters if the pandemic wasn't here. So that might be another big plus. But the marketing campaign needs to be pretty good, in my opinion, on an international basis. It's okay for people in the US. You have HBO Max. You know exactly what date, what time you can watch Wonder Woman. And closer to Zack Snyder's Justice League, you'll know the exact same. For us on an international basis, it's probably going to come on Sky, because that's the corporation that they're in contract with that runs the television companies here. That's okay, but we don't know the date, we don't know the time and stuff like that. Right now, we know Wonder Woman 84 in theaters January 25th on Sky. We can watch it. Fair enough, that's cool. But is Zack Snyder's Justice League going to get a theatrical experience, or is it going to be released in the one play in the world at the one time, around similar times? I don't know yet, but they need to get that off to a T and make sure it's done right for us fans, so we can really enjoy this as a whole, as a community, together at the one time. And then we'll flood the social media and we'll discuss this like hell. But those are my positives for Zack Snyder's Justice League with this new transition that HBO Max has made. The landscape, I think it's pretty positive. I think everything has gone in the right direction for Zack Snyder's Justice League, which is brilliant. Go back to 2016, you had critics, box office, headlines, stuff like that just didn't go well. 2017, all the stuff happened in Zack's personal life, bringing in Josh Whedon, Jeff Johns overtaking, stuff like that. It was just a bad time and a bad experience for everyone. But right now, in a world where a pandemic is going on, I think a lot of positives have happened for Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's got announced. We know it's coming. Wonder Woman 84 coming to HBO Max was a big win. And all these other huge IPs coming to HBO Max is a big win also for Zack Snyder's Justice League, because it attracts more people than what's going to see it if these movies weren't on HBO Max. You know, it's going to attract more people. They'll probably sit down, oh, there's Justice League, Batman, I like Batman, you know, I like Superman. They'll watch it. It was pretty cool that way as well. But I can't wait for 2021. If it's a series, I'll watch it as a series. I don't care. If it's a movie, I'll watch it as a movie. The black and white version, the Blu-ray, theatrical, whatever experience I can get this movie in, I'll take it. I don't care. But as long as I can watch it with my fellow Snyder Cut community friends or family or whatever it is at the same or roughly the same time, if it's a day later or a day before or something like that, that's okay too. But I just don't want to wait a month or something like that. You know, I want to watch this with everybody. I want to experience with everybody. I'm sure they'll have it right. It's a huge IP. It's Justice League. They're known all around the world. These iconic characters. If I told you Matrix, if I told you Dune, if I told you Godzilla v Kong, and if I told you Justice League, and you showed people all around the world pictures of these characters, I'm sure they'd know most of the Justice League cast and, you know, like the characters and probably the actors as well. They're such huge stars. So I think they need to get it right. And if they do get it right, if they do get the marketing right, if they do get the release right, which I think they will, then this is going to blow up the internet, in my opinion. That's all I have to say about that, guys. I just find it very interesting. And I think it's going to be a movie. I think it's going to be a part 1, a part 2, maybe, for March. I would love it to be a series as well. The cliffhangers and stuff like that, all cool. But it's just the way I've seen teams transition in the last few weeks. With HBO Max being the theatrical version for everything right now. It's pretty interesting and it's pretty cool. But guys, thanks very much for being a subscriber to this channel. If you're not subscribed now, please give a like, comment, follow all my social medias in the description. And guys, look, have a smile on your face. We're finally getting to see Zack Snyder's Justice League. This is more than what we would have got in 2017, no matter what we get. So it's a big win. Enjoy the rest of your day. Oh, I also want to talk about Scott Snyder's comments. I'll probably do a separate video on that. Pretty cool stuff on the way for the Snyderverse. It ain't dead, guys. It ain't dead.